Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from the Meadowlands Racetrack here on Saturday. It is August the 6th, 2016. We're going to look at the stakes races, and there are a lot of them, so be prepared. Before I look at those stakes races, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections. It's Hambo Day. Love Hambo Day. You know, my favorite days from the Meadowlands is Hambo Day and the day before Hambo Day, because years ago, we used to go the night before the Hambo, the Friday usually, and they used to have like these rides set up, usually for Saturday, but they would test run them on Friday, so there would not be a lot of people there, so when I was like 5, 6 years old, I would be going on the rides Friday night. Really cool. And so that's why I like the Hambletonian weekend. They always do good things. But now I'm going to look at their horse races. I'm a little bit older now. I could start looking at the horses. It's a great card. I have about 14 races to get onto. Starting off at race number 2. And the second race is the 1 mile pace here. It's the Shady Daisy Stakes. A 3-year-old filly is going for a purse of $94,000. There's no show wagering this race, and no super wagering this race. All the other races have superfecta wagering, so keep that in mind. Minimum base 10 cents. But I think the card personally, this whole card might be a little bit of a chalky card in my eyes. It's just looking on paper. I think the ideal horses should win, and I think an ideal horse in this race that should really win is the 4-horse Blue Moon Stride. Andrew McCarthy. I would go 4-1-3. 4-1-3 for a try. Playing the pick 5 that starts off at race number 1. It's the 50K guarantee on it. I would single this race, I think. Blue Moon Stride just looks very hard to beat. So 4-1-3, single the 4, Blue Moon Stride, 4-5, Andrew McCarthy. Last time out ran July 30th at the Meadowlands in 3-year-old final for $85,000. This horse won by 6.5 lengths that day, and really just had a very good win. It wasn't a non-betting race, and this horse just had a very easy victory. Start before that in the Mistletoe at the Meadowlands on July 16th. This horse won by a length. It was another easy victory for this one. He was basically fourth second, got to lead, very easy victory, and then the Lynch at Pocono. This horse finished second by half length. Another very good run for this horse. He likes the Meadowlands. He's 6-5 over it this year. Has 1 loss. You have to go to that loss to non-winners of 100,000 Filly and Mayer back in late May or early May. That's the last time this horse lost at the Meadowlands. But I think this horse, on paper, like I said, the ideal horse to pick, the ideal single, the ideal best horse of the race. So I'm going to go with this one. So to recap my bets for race number 2 from the Meadowlands, it's the Shady Daisy. Going to go with the 4-horse Blue Moon Stride. Going to go 4-1-3. 4-1-3. And now let's get on to race number 3 from the Meadowlands, which is the French Yankee Trot. It's a TVG free-for-all for Mayors. Purse $188,000, going a mile and an eighth. So keep that in mind. Mile and an eighth. Field of 12 horses, 11 and 12. Start from the second tier. It's a great race here. And another race, the ideal horse on paper should, in my eyes, really win, and that's the 4-horse Hannelore Hanover. I would go 4-7-10-6 in this race. 4-7-10-6. Number 4, Hanover, single for me, and probably the pick 5 if I play it. Most likely I'm going to play it. I want to play a cheap ticket since I said it's a very chalky sequence. If I play it more than like a $10 ticket, I'll be shocked. But 2-5, Yannick Gingras. I think Yannick's going to have a great day. Last time out, ran the Meadowlands in the open handicap for $25,000 last week. Won by half length. It was a very, very good, easy victory. They were in the race 151 and 1/5 of a second, so it was very nice. 60 cents to the dollar. Also got bet into the ground. Then the maturity at the Meadowlands on July the 16th. Horse won by 3.5 lengths. At a mile and an eighth, it was a very easy victory. Ran the race in 2:05 and 4, which was, I think that was, I can't remember now. I think the ladies later on in the that card broke the track record or the world record for mile and an eighth, but that was an easy victory for this horse that day in the maturity. And then the at Mohawk in July the 1st in a stakes race series, this horse won by 5 3/4 lengths, 5 cents to the dollar, and it was a very easy victory. Went straight to the lead. If you watch us Filion in the sulky, he just very rarely just tapped the horse. So I'm going to use this horse here. Looks very hard to beat. He's 2 for 2 at the Meadowlands, or shall I say she's 2 for 2 at the Meadowlands this season. So I'm going to use this one. So to recap my bets for the third race from the Meadowlands, the Fresh Yankee TVG Free for All Mayor is going to go with the 4 horse Hanover. For a superfecta play, I would go 4, 7, 10, 6. 4, 7, 10, 6. That's my top 4 in this race. So now let's get on to race number 4. The fourth race from Meadowlands is the Peter Houghton Memorial Final. 2-year-old Colts and Geldings, purse $294,000. And I was talking to my dad. Me and my dad were talking about these races today, this morning, and this is the race he absolutely hates because he hates 2-year-old races and harness racing. Because he just hates him. I don't know why, he just hates him. But I think there's a really good horse who I think has a very strong future. If you could get advanced wager on next year's Hambo, I would probably put a few dollars to win on Rubio for that, because I think this horse just has a very great career ahead of him. Like I said, I'm going to use Rubio as a top selection here. I'm going to go 6-4-2-8. 6-4-2-8. Like I said, I make single. I'm going to go single and probably in races 2, 3, and 4 at least, in the pick 5. But Rubio 5-2, Yannick Gingras is going to have a good day, I hope. Last time out, ran at the Meadowlands, July the 29th in the Houghton eliminations. His horse won by via dead heat that day at 30 cents to the dollar. You know, he was coming at the finish. The other horse was coming, and he just held on. It was a scary run, I think, but I think he's going to be ready for today's race in the spot. Start before came in July 22nd at the Meadowlands in the kindergarten 2-year-old race. His horse won by 3 3/4 lengths. It was a very, pretty easy victory. And then the Pennsylvania All-Stars at Poconos, horse won by a neck, 157 and 2. He ran that day for that one. Just a basic, very easy victory. If you go back on his the odds, he's been going off the last few starts. Last week he's 30 cents to the dollar, 10 cents to the dollar. The kindergarten, 30 cents to the dollar at the Pocono, and then in June in a 2-year-old Colts and Geldings, his horse was 60 cents to the dollar. He's 4 for 4. I think he should have a very strong run here today. I think he's the ideal horse to win. Looking over this race, if I don't single, if I want to go out a little bit more in this race, the 4 maybe Victor Gioit. Hopefully I say that right. My pronunciation of some words is horrible, so just ignore that. But maybe the 4 horse could maybe upset. I think I would go, maybe if I go too deep, it would be 6-4. But I think Rubio is just a very good horse. So to recap my bets for the fourth race, it's the Peter Houghton Memorial. I'm gonna go with the 6 horse Rubio. I'm gonna go 6-4-2-8. 6-4-2-8. So now let's get on to race number 5 from the Meadowlands, and the 5th race is the Jim Thornton Memorial Final. 2-year-old filly's going for a purse of $306,500. We have a field of 10 trotters traveling a mile, the standard distance in harness racing, and I'm going to go to the 5 horse Chezetter. Hopefully I say that right. I'm going to go 5-1-8-3 with a top selection of Chezetter, 5-2 Dave Miller for Trod Setchhammer. Last time out, ran at the Meadowlands on July the 29th in the Dorothy eliminations. Horse won by 1 3/4 lengths that day. A very nice run. He got the lead early on in the race, then lost it, and then got it again. Really just a very nice victory. Then a Poconos in the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes. His horse won by a neck. Second all throughout, got the lead, and then very, very easy victory. And then the medals in the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes back in July the 12th. His horse finished second by a head, lost the lead in the final stride. It wasn't the best runs that day on that 5/8 of mile track. Here at the Meadowlands, 1 for 1 last time out. Tried Setchhammer, knows what he's doing. He's a great trainer. I can't remember, was it 10 years ago or 9 years ago? Arch Madness, I think he was the horse for Trot Setchhammer who won the Hambo. That was a very good horse. He recently retired about 2 years ago, but that was the old boy. I always put a few dollars to win on him when he ran, even towards the end of his running career. But that's something. Arch Madness, very good horse. But Chezetter, I think this horse could do well here. So I'm going to put this horse on a superfecta ticket as a top selection. So like I said, I would go 5-1-8-3. Pick 5, maybe I'll go too deep. I would maybe the 1 horse Ariana G at 7-5 looks very tough, especially from that 1 hole post position. Last week the eliminations, this horse won by 1 3/4 lengths, and it was very easy. Maybe if something happens to the 1 horse, I think the 5 could maybe could do it. But the other two horses I have on this ticket, the 8 and 3, you know, I don't think those horses. I think it's two-horse race between the 5 and the 1. I went with the 5 on this side, so I would use 5-1 in the pick 5 for this final leg. So going with this one. So to recap my bets for the 5th race from the Meadowlands, Jim Dorothy Memorial. Gonna go with the 5-horse Chezetter. Gonna go 5-1-8-3. 5-1-8-3. Hopefully I don't lose my voice during this. I'm already talking for 10 minutes straight. But now let's get on to race number 6. The 6th race from the Meadowlands is a John Cashman Memorial. It's a TVG free-for-all purse, $273,600. We have a field of 10 horses going to 1 mile trot, and my top selection is going to go to the 5-horse Resolve. Going to go 5-7-6-9. 5-7-6-9. Number 5 Resolve. 2-1 Ake Schwanstead. Last time out, we're in an open handicap at Yonkers on July the 23rd. This horse finished third by 2 lengths going on that half-mile track. It wasn't the best of runs for this horse. Had an outside post position. And, it just sucks at Yonkers if you have an outside. If you're from the 4-hole out, you could just rip up your tickets even before you start the race, unless the horse is an incredible horse. I think with that start in that open handicap last week, I think he's coming back here where this horse was on such a tough track. Come to the Meadowlands with that 1 mile oval will really help this horse with the extra, the wideness of the course, let's say, not the tightness of a half-mile track, if I can make sense with this one. But I think he should really improve off that Yonkers run from last week. And then ran the Cutler TVG final on June 24th at the Meadowlands. Horse won by a length. It was on the lead all throughout. Very easy victory. Very, very easy victory. And then this horse, you have to go back to May. This horse finished second in the elite lot behind Nuncio. Nuncio ran a very good race. This horse won the. I don't think he actually originally won the elite lot playoff at the Meadowlands, but I believe he got disqualified because he left the course. So that's why he was disqualified that day. But I think this horse should have a very strong run Resolve. So I'm going to use this one here. So to recap my bets for race number 6 from the Meadowlands, it is the John Cashman Memorial. Going to go with the 5-horse Resolve. Going to go 5-7-6-9. 5-7-6-9. So now let's get on to race number 7, the 7th race from the Meadowlands, and it's one of my favorite races on the whole harness racing, out of all the year on the harness racing. It is the Cane Pace 3-year-old open here, going 1.1 miles this year because there's an overflow field. 1.1 miles pace here, purse $320,000. Field of 11 horses. 11 horse starts from the second tier, and this race used to be run at Freehold a few years ago, and then it got switched over to different tracks. Personally, I liked it at Freehold, but now they switched it. I think this is the second year they're hosting it at the Meadowlands, but like I said, it's always been a very good race, this Cane Pace. Winner last year, I believe Wiggle It Jiggle It won it last year, if I'm not mistaken, but like I said, it's a very nice race here. And my top selection is going to go to the inside. Number 1, check 6. Going to go 1-11-4-3. 1-11-4-3. Number 1, check 6, 3-1, Yannick Gingras for Ron Burke. Last time out in the Adios final on the slot at the Meadows last week. This horse finished second by 2.25 lengths. Was basically second all throughout. Really couldn't get up to Racing Hill, ran a monster race. Then at the Meadows on July the 23rd in the Adios eliminations. This horse finished second by 3/4 length. Again, couldn't catch Racing Hill. Today Racing Hill's not running here, so maybe this horse could really get a very nice run. Then this horse ran in the Meadowlands Pace final. This horse finished third by 2.25 lengths behind Control of the Moment, who's running back in this race, and then finished fourth behind Control of the Moment in the Pace eliminations 2 weeks before. I think this horse should have a stronger run. Was facing a lot tougher the last 4 starts. In those 2 Meadowlands starts, his last 2 Meadowlands starts, he's facing Control of the Moment. He's running back here today, but I think this horse is going to be a better horse, personally, running here today. So I'm going to use this one. So to recap my bets for race number 7 from the Meadowlands, it's Cane Pace. Going to go with the 1-horse check 6. Going to go 1-11-4-3. 1-11-4-3. So now let's get on to race number 8. The 8th race from the Meadowlands is a 1 mile trot. It's the Hambletonian elimination. It's the first elimination. It's for 3-year-olds open for a purse of $70,000. The first 5 will return to race 13 to run in the final for the Hambo for $1 million up for grabs. and it's this one is a bit of a difficult race to handicap, I think, in my eyes. I went 6-1-9-5. 6-1-9-5. Number 6, Maven's Way at 6-1. John Campbell for Akesh Fonstead, who owns and trains this one. John Campbell, I think he knows his way around the Meadowlands and how to win the Hambo. This horse hasn't run in a parimutuel race since the 26th at Pocono and onwards 3 parimutuel. This horse finished second by nose, on the lead all throughout, but really couldn't get that late kick in. Got caught. It was 30 cents to the dollar. After that, they qualified this horse last week, July 30th. This horse finished third and disqualified by 3 3/4 lengths and 153 and 2 behind Pinkman and Rose Run Parker. But I think this horse should have a very strong run here today. He finished fifth in the Tompkins, finished third in the New Jersey in the final in the Sire Stakes final. This horse finished third, and then this horse won the eliminations by a length all throughout for that Sire Stakes. I think this horse should really be having an improvement here today. He's out of Muscle Hill, who won the Hambo in 2009. I think this horse, should have a very strong run here. 6-1. I like the price for the handicapping on this race. So gonna go with this one. Another horse that maybe could upset, maybe the one. Looking at it right now, I think all 4. If you're playing a pick 4 or something that starts with this leg, I would probably use all 4 because it looks very difficult this leg. So to recap my bets racing rate for the Hambletonian eliminations from the Meadowlands, going to go 6-1-9-5, 6-1-9-5. Now to race number 9. Ninth race from the Meadowlands is a 1 mile trot. It's the Hambletonian elimination, the second elimination. 3-year-olds open, going for a purse of $70,000. The first 5 will run in the race 13, the final. So we have 9 horses going to post here, and it's a horse I really think that could, my top 2 to win the Hambletonian are in this race. That's the 5 horse, Southwind Frank, who I think I would probably go with if he makes the final, most likely will. I would go 5-4-2-7, 5-4-2-7. Marion Mortar would be my top selection, my second selection. I think he has a strong chance to win the Hambo, but 5-4-2-7. We'll go when we get to the Hambletonian race. I'll talk more about Southwind Frank and why I really like him and Marion Mortar. But last time out, let's talk about this race now. But last time out, the Meadowlands and the Reynolds, this horse won by 3/4 length. A very easy victory. His horse has only lost twice. He's 2 for 2 at the Meadowlands this season. He's actually 4 for 4 at the Meadowlands this season. Looking at the wrong horse. He won last time out. Won the Dancer. Won the Beal at the final Beal at Pocono. In the eliminations, this horse finished second. After that, in his last few running lines, he's been pretty perfect. He's a very good horse. Very experienced. I think, like I said, I think he could be the horse to win the Hambo. He's a very nice horse here. Marion Mortar, a 3-1 Scott Zeron, another horse out of Muscle Hill. Muscle Hill has a lot of his babies are running in this race, are in the eliminations. 4's out of Muscle Hill, the 5's out of Muscle Hill, the 7's out of Muscle Hill. In the other race, there was a bunch of them. But he's out of Muscle Hill, won the race in 2009, both of them. This horse, last time out, the Dancer 3-year-old open. This horse won by 2 3/4 lengths at even money. At 1 mile and 1/8, this horse ran very easy. And it was in 2:08-1, which is pretty slow, I think. But like I said, it was just an easy victory on the lead all throughout. And then July the 8th at the Meadowlands in Open 3, horse for second. I think you're going to have a fresh horse here today. He hasn't run in about 3-4 weeks now. That's something I really like coming into this race with them running twice. I think you're gonna have a very nice run with this one, Marion Mortar. But like I said, top 2. If I had to go, top selection, Southwind Frank. Marion Mortar is a definite second. I think it's a 2-horse race. It's going to be a 2-horse race in the Hambo between these two. But to recap my bets for race number 9 for the Meadowlands, the Hambletonian elimination, second elimination here. I'm going to go with the 5-horse Southwind Frank. I'm going to go 5-4-2-7. 5-4-2-7. So now let's get on to race number 10. The 10th race from the Meadowlands is the Vincennes Invitational, purse $75,000. It's a 1 mile trot here, going for a purse of $75,000. We have a field of 10 horses going that 1 mile trot. And my top selection here is going to go to the 2-horse Pinkman, the 4-year-old gelding. Going to go 2-10, 3-6, 2-10, 3-6. Number 2, Pinkman, 3-1. Yannick Gingras for Jimmy Takter. Last time out, qualified at the Meadowlands on July the 30th. Qualified in 153 and 2. He won by a neck that day. It was a pretty easy run for him that day. It was his first race basically since June the 12th at Tioga in the Graduate. Source finished fourth by 3/4 length. It was a very, very tough race for him that day. Really couldn't get the greatest of runs, and it was his first start back from the States from Sweden. He ran in the Elite Lap card at Sweden. The Source won that day, and it was it was a very impressive victory. And then the Source finished third in the Graduate Open on May the 21st. Second in non-wars of 16. 500, and then this horse has won once this year. That was in Sweden, but I think he should really do well here after that bit of a layoff he has. So gonna go with this one. So to recap my bets for race number 10, the Vincennes from Invitational from the Meadowlands. Gonna go with the 2 horse, number 2, Pinkman as a top selection. Gonna go 210 3-6, 210 3-6. Excuse me. Have to wet the whistle so I don't lose my voice. Sorry about that. And now the 11th race from the Meadowlands. This is the 10th race I believe I'm looking at now. And I've been talking for 20 minutes. So the 11th race from the Meadowlands is a 1 mile pace. It's the U.S. Pacing Championship TVG Open. Purse $225,500. 7 pacers going into this one, and my top selection here is going to always be Mickey at 3-5 with Dave Miller. I'm going to go 3-6-4-2, 3-6-4-2. Willie Jiglet's been pretty good, but with the layoff of always be Mickey of the 3 or 4 weeks, whatever it's been since the Houghton, I think this horse should really run a monster race here. You might have to look at the clock on this one, maybe world record time. But always be Mickey. 3-5. Dave Miller, probably a single in my eyes. Last time out in the Houghton at TVG at the Meadowlands on July the 16th. Source won by 3/4 lengths, setting a world record for the mile and late distance at 2:01 and 1/5 of a second, I believe. Actually, no, they actually didn't make the world record. The fillies later on in the card made it in the Golden Girls, but he had the record for about an hour or so, but it was a very, very easy victory on the lead almost all throughout. Then in the Franklin final at Pocono on July the 2nd, and the race of the millennium, I guess they were calling this. This horse won by 3/4 length. A very easy victory, very nice victory in 147 flat, and then he qualified in the eliminations in 147 flat again, easy. Horse hasn't. The last loss this horse had was an open handicap here at the Meadowlands back in June the 4th. But I think this horse should have a very strong run. Ran the American National at Balmoral last November, and this horse won by 1 3/4 lengths. I personally think that's his best race. I know the Franklin was very good, but I like that. I like that run in the American National last season. That's just in my eyes. He was 5 cents to the dollar too. There's no value. You're not going to get value with this one here today. But going to go with this one. So to recap my bets for the U.S. Pacing Championship from the Meadowlands, going to go with the 3 horse. Always be Mickey. Going to go 3-6-4-2. 3-6-4-2. So now let's get on to race number 12 from the Meadowlands. The 12th race from the Meadowlands is the Hambletonian Oaks. It's the final here for a 3-year-old fillies going for a purse of $500,000. 1 mile trot here, 10 horses, and my top selection is going to go to the inside to the 2 horse Celebrity Envensi. Hopefully I say that right. I'm going to put this horse into a superfecta. Going to go 2-6-1-7. Number 2 Celebrity Envensi. 6-1 John Campbell on this one. Last time out ran at the Meadowlands on July the 30th, and the Oaks elimination. This horse won by a neck that day at a little over 5-1, and he closed up very well. It was a very nice victory. Then at the Meadowlands on July the 16th in the Miller 3-year-old final, this horse finished third by half length. Couldn't really get a great closing kick. This horse. His last race was pretty weird. I forgot to mention that. It was a weird race, but he fought back. That's something I like. The horse fought back to get it last time out. And that's why I think this horse should have a very strong run. And then Tioga and the Tompkins, this horse won by 4 lengths, almost all on the lead all throughout. Very easy victory at 15 cents to the dollar. But I think this horse 6-1. I like the price on this one. Weird race last week, but going to use this horse here. I also have the 617 on the ticket, on the bottom side of the ticket. Number 6 all the time is a very good horse also. You know, couldn't get up there last week. You know, maybe go too deep in this race. Maybe go 2-6. Even the one horse. The one horse looks very strong here too. You know, it's a weird race. I think the Celebrity Evency. The 6 horse has a strong chance. The 1 horse has a strong chance. Even the 7 horse has a strong chance. So maybe go 4 deep. Let me contradict myself, but I would go maybe 4. Going to go 4 deep here in this race. So to recap my bets for the Hambletonian Oaks from the Meadowlands, going to go with 2 horse Celebrity Evency. Going to go 2-6-1-7, 2-6-1-7, and to race 13. I talked about it before. The horse I think that could win the Hambletonian, the $1 million Hambletonian. Is you know, I think South let me get it right here. Southwind Frank, I think he has a strong chance to win here. My second horse will be Marion Martyr. I think those are the 2 horses that have, you know, those are my 2 top selections if you want to go with it. You know, another horse that can maybe upset, maybe Maven's Way. I don't think he's Maven's Way. I have him in the other as a top selection in the other Hambo limb. I don't think he's gonna when he faces Southwind Frank. I don't think he's that good. Bar hopping, you know. I just think it's going to be a 2 horse race between Southwind Frank and Marion Martyr. Yannick Gingras has never won this race. He almost won it last year, but he had to pick his mount for the final, and he picked the other horse. And the horse he should have rode won with Brian Sears. But you know, like I said, Southwind Frank, Marion Martyr, the 2 horses I think that could win the Hambletonian, and I think they have a strong chance. So that's my Hambletonian picks here. So now let's get on to race number 15. We're going to head on to race number 15, skipping over race 14 because that's an open. That's not a race everybody's going to be looking at. Everybody are going to look at the stakes races. And the final stakes race on today's program is the Lady Liberty, race 15, the Lady Liberty. Purse, it's TVG free for all mares. Purse $235,000, almost $236,000. A mile and the 8th pace here. Field of 12 horses, and I think there's a single in this race. That goes to the outside to the 12 horse. Lady Shadow, gonna go 12, 5, 7, 11. 12, 5, 7, 11. Number 12, Lady Shadow, 7-5, Yannick Gingras. Last time out in the qualifier at the Mohawk on July 29th, Source qualified, won that day by 3.5 lengths, so 151-4. You know, according to the run line, on the lead all throughout. Very, very, you know, smooth running. Then the Meadowlands and Golden Girl finals. Source won by 4 lengths that day at 70 cents to the dollar, and had it for a mile and 8th world record time in 2 minutes and 3/5 of a second. A very, very great run. And then a preferred filly mare at Mohawk. Source won by half length at 95 cents to the dollar. Very easy. You know, it wasn't. Let me say that before I'm talking about the wrong race. But that filly mare, preferred filly mare at Mohawk, wasn't the easiest run. This horse didn't get to the lead. Was a little bit wide, but really, when this horse was moving, really moved up really well. I think this horse should have a strong run. Her Meadowlands start this year was very impressive at that mile and the 8th. Does this horse run a sub 2 minutes for a mile and the 8th? We shall see. So to recap my bets for race number 15 from the Meadowlands, Lady Liberty. Gonna go to the 12 horse, Lady Shadow. Gonna go 12, 5, 7, 11. 12, 5, 7, 11. So good luck to all, and follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.